In Better Manners today, we are talking table manners at turkey time.
The Thanksgiving holiday can really put etiquette to the test. How do you get an A? You follow the wisdom Jodi RR Smith is sharing today.
She is an etiquette expert and founder of Manner Smith Consulting. And what do you think of making gobble noises at the table?
I think you just want to prepare people ahead of time so you don't scare great Aunt Tilly.
So no one chokes on the wishbone.
Can I please share a story with you? Our cousins, my mother invited my uncle and my aunt and their kids over, my cousins, and they were little, and they were running around, and all we saw was hands coming up over the table, grabbing turkey, and then they were throwing it through the living room.
Oh my.
There was no boundaries. It was horrible. It was horrible.
Yes.
There has to be etiquette, and there has to be like discipline at the table.
Yes, and discipline before you get to the table. And I think that's really the biggest thing, is that when you're used to having little kids around, things are going to be crazy. But when you're sitting down for a formal meal, whether that's with china or with paper plates, you're sitting down with your family, you need to prep your kids. You can't expect to give them a whole bunch of instructions on the car ride over and expect them to be perfect. So the first thing I would have told your aunt, your cousin,
yeah, my aunt and my uncle.
Your aunt and your uncle, is that if you know your kids have a lot of energy and they've just come off of a 4-hour car ride, have them race around the outside of the house. Have them run around the house 10 times before they even come inside. A little bit of preemptive can help to minimize those types of situations.
And if you are having people to your house and you know that there's a lot of kids, is it incumbent upon the host to set up a kid's table or some entertainment for the kids, or should we just be bringing everything we need for our kids?
It's really a good balance. This is what good manners and having etiquette is all about, is that if I have a home that there's no children in, and I know that you're coming and you're bringing small children, I will say I have 2 stuffed animals and a DVD of Sesame Street. Please bring toys that will help your children. I do want them to sit at the table, so tell me, can they sit for 10 minutes? Can they sit for 20 minutes? And then we'll allow them to be excused to play. But for me, as an older relative, it gives me such pleasure to see them at the table and watch them interact with people.
It seems like a lot of the etiquette is based on the host as opposed to maybe the guests.
It's based on both. So everybody needs to be participating in order for this to go off well. So I'm going to give you hints. So I've invited you at 4 o'clock, but I'm not serving until 7.
Okay.
I will tell you. Everyone's going to come, we're going to hang out, we're going to watch the game. So if your kids get hungry at 6, make sure to feed them a snack ahead of time. So a lot of communication to make sure that everybody knows what's expected of them at a particular point in time.
What do you do about the relatives who don't get along?
Yes, so the relatives who don't get along, you put them on the same side of the table with 1 or 2 people in between. That way there's no eye contact.
Oh, that's
Separate,
a really good
same
idea.
side.
I rent an L-shaped catering hall. And
that would do it too.
Some people on this side and other people on this side. My mother's over here, my father's over here.
Yes.
Everybody enjoys their dinner. They're not looking at each other. Do you tempt fate? Do you give the kids the silver and the china that the rest of the guests are getting?
So I'd give them silver because it's really hard for them to do something bad other than stab one of their siblings, which they can do with a plastic fork as well. If it is my great-grandmother's china, I'm not going to give it to them.
Yeah.
I'm going to have some IKEA plasticware.
Okay.
I'll have something else for them. So if it's something that I'm going to be heartbroken, if it is broken, it is not going to the children.
It's interesting because I'm thinking the relative will say, well, my child is old enough to eat with, you know.
I don't think so. They'll be happy that they're not.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's why there's been a kids' table and at Thanksgivings for a long time. But
yes.
What about just the etiquette of phones and all? Do we need to tell people that, hey, this is a digital-free dinner, or should people just know it's Thanksgiving, no phones on the table?
People do not know. It's your house, you're the host, it's your rules, but don't surprise people. Don't announce it as they're walking in the door. Let them know a couple days ahead of time, we're so excited that you're coming, you're bringing the sweet potatoes, you're bringing the apple pie. Can't wait to see everybody. Our family gets together so rarely. So after we take pictures and everybody takes selfies with their favorite cousin, we're putting all the phones completely away. Right. No phones at the table, on the table, or under the table. So people know.
They have to turn them in. They can't just keep them on their body.
I prefer to have them turn it in because it's too tempting otherwise.
Oh, okay.
Can the football game be on the television while we're eating dinner?
It depends on the house rules. At my house, no. but there are places that I go for Thanksgiving that's their family tradition.
I just heard Aiden say, my house, yes. God bless you.
No, I was going to ask that too, because we have some relatives that are very sports oriented, but maybe we don't really want TV on while we're eating. Should you accommodate though and make sure there is a TV with the game, even if you're not into it? Do you need to have that on in a room for some people?
So what I will do is I will record it, and I will tell people, during dinner, for the next 45 minutes or an hour, we're spending, all the adults will be sitting at the table actually having a nice time with each other. We are recording the game in the other room. You'll be able to fast forward through the commercials, and you'll be able to catch up in between dinner and dessert.
The lingering guest that wants to stay till midnight.
Put them to work. Oh, Scott, you're still here. Can you take this trash out for me? Oh, Carrie, you're still here. If you could put together the couch in the family room, all the kids took the cushions off, if you could put that back together. You find if you give them a job, they tend to need to go very quickly.
Okay, that's excellent advice.
Okay. And leftovers. Do we send our guests home with leftovers? Is that something that maybe you don't want all this stuff in your house? Can you say, hey, please take things home?
Yes, so different people have different feelings towards leftovers. I am a leftover person. I like having leftovers. I'm happy to take the leftovers. So if you're a leftover person and the host offers, then you may take some. But if the host does not offer, they have already plans for those leftovers. You're not allowed to ask.
Okay.
2 turkey legs, everybody wants them. What do you do?
When you go to the store, you can buy packs of just legs, and that way you can have 1 turkey with 16 legs, and all the cousins are happy.
Very good.
Oh, we should buy extra legs. Who knew?
Extra legs.
Okay. So for more etiquette advice from Jodi, be sure to check out her website. It's mannersmith.com.